So welcome back to A Girl's Gotta Talk. This is episode, oh my god, wait, okay, I just did 6. Wait, did I do 6? This is 7. Yeah, I think this is 7. Lucky number 7 as my little tattoo.
Honestly, I feel like that's the perfect number for this episode.
No, it is. It really is, because I have my little lovely bestie Ava on today, who's also very spiritual, very hippie. We like vibe on the same level.
Yeah.
Like I just like, when the more we got to know each other, the more I was like, okay, like me and her are like this. Like we were just like same brain. I was like, what?
No,
where were you, girl? Like,
I know, when we talk, we're just like, yep, same page.
Same page. We have the same thoughts. We do the same things. But
we're like inspired by the same stuff, I feel like.
Exactly.
Also.
Yeah. So lucky number 7, have my lucky girl Ava on.
Yay.
And today we're going to be hitting some topics of spirituality and travel and the combining of the both of those things, like spirituality and travel.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get into it. I think we both have some crazy stories. We both love to travel. We both love the world. You appreciate the world so in such like amazing way. Like, she is such a huge climate activist, and like tries to, you know, just do better for the planet. And I love that about her, because she teaches me new stuff every day. She's a plant mom, and I can't even keep a plant alive. So I'm very inspired by Ava, and she just teaches me every day. So I was like, who better to have on the podcast for this episode than her?
Yes.
Because she also just traveled to Costa Rica. So we'll get into that.
I know, so much to cover.
I know, we do have so much to cover. I kind of like went in today with this like, no topics. Like, let's just go. Let's just vibe. Because
I'm sure we'll think of stuff.
We banter off of each other very well.
For sure.
But let's do a little cheers. We got our little house rosé in a can, because it's been a week.
It's been a week.
Cheers. And then I'm like not going to ASMR again, so I probably just did. But anyways, I hope everybody enjoyed that.
Hear the sound of that.
Yeah, I could hear it too. Also, there is a Celtics game going on outside right now. So any background noise you guys hear from like screaming or horns or DJs, that is why. And I also just got my nails done, so I'm going to be tapping a lot of things today.
Tapping along.
Okay, so let's start.
Yeah.
Song of the week. We're going to start with Song of the Week.
Okay.
Did you pick your song?
So I was thinking about this while I was at work.
Okay.
And I was like, I could do a song I like, song I'm listening to.
Yeah.
But then I was like, no, I'm going to choose a song from a new genre that I've been getting myself into.
Okay.
Which I don't know a ton about, but I've been getting myself into like Brazilian music.
Oh,
and like
I love that.
like Brazilian jazz.
Okay.
And so like the king of Brazilian jazz in my mind is Sergio Mendes.
Okay.
So he has this song Sambina Bossa Nova.
Okay.
Which is just beautiful, and it's like Brazilian vibes, jazz. I love jazz. I love classical music, especially like from different countries.
Yeah.
So that's my song of the week.
Oh, I love that. Okay, I'm gonna have to take a listen to that, because
Yeah.
I just know like Brazilian like EDM and electronic music.
Yeah.
Don't really know the jazz side of it, but
Both
I feel like,
so different, but both so good.
yeah, I feel like that would very much calm me.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's so calming.
okay, I love that. Mine is This Time, in parentheses, Never Be Alone Again by Dada Life. EDM. I've just been listening to that on repeat. It was in my playlist of the week for this week, so I will also add it to the songs of the week playlist. But it's just so good. I've been listening to it. I love the lyrics. I love the vibe of it. So yeah, that's my song of the week. But what's your quote of the week?
Okay. My quote of the week is one of my favorite quotes. It's not really like when you hear it, you're like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's a quote that like I heard from this yoga class that I took a couple years ago. She said at the end of the yoga class, and I like literally walked out and I was like thinking about it the entire rest of the day. And then I was like, this is going to be my new motto for life. And it's never wait, never rush. And it's basically like, don't wait on anyone to make your decisions and to do what you want to do.
Yep.
And don't rush yourself to do anything. Like, move at your own pace, which
I love
when I think about that, it like totally grounds me. Like,
Yeah.
I stress myself out to be like on a clock for other people, on a clock for like what I want, what I feel like I should be doing, and it kind of just like grounds me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that. Sometimes when the yoga instructors are like saying stuff in the class, I feel like that's when it hits different.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, wait, I should be paying attention to this.
You're like, what's going on?
Yeah, and then you leave and you're like, I need to actually can we do a yoga class together soon? I haven't done one in a bit because it was getting too expensive. It's like,
no, I feel that.
Some places are like really, really expensive. Like the one I was going to, which I was going all the time, but now I like work out all the time too. So I feel like it's not worth paying for both.
I know.
But
it's so hard, like prioritizing that.
It is, because like I love working out. I love doing weights and like lifting and gaining muscle, whatever, but I also love yoga because it grounds me and it's great. But it was like $150 a month. Yeah, and that was with a student discount, and now I'm not going to be a student, so
you can hold that on. You can hold that for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I was like, maybe. So I don't know, but I might do a drop-in class soon. But we should do one together.
Well, you should come to mine because you can get like, I can bring a guest for free. So.
Okay, yeah, no, I would love that. Let's do that. Okay. I have 2 quotes because I couldn't choose because I have a Gemini moon and I'm very indecisive.
I'm so excited.
So, and the moon is in Gemini right now, so extra indecisive. Okay, looking at a picture that I took of myself that I did not love. Okay, all right. The first one is, since I like tried to go along with like traveling.
Yeah.
So it's, the world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page. And it's by St. Augustine. And I just think that's so beautiful because
that is beautiful.
It really does speak true. Like, if you stay in one place, how are you going to learn? How are you going to experience different people and different cultures and different things? And I mean, now with like societal standards and the economy not being great, it's really hard for people to travel, which I think is such, like, it's just so depressing, and it's just such a loss because you really do find so many things through traveling, which leads into my next quote, which is, travel far enough, you meet yourself. And it's by David Mitchell, and it like has a comma, and it's Cloud Atlas. But I love that because I felt like I truly did not know myself outside of anxiety until I traveled to another country by myself. And then that's when I was like, oh, what do I have anxiety? This exists? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, why?
No, exactly.
So, yeah, I love those quotes.
And I feel like a big part of it, like for me, I get such bad anxiety, like even when I travel. And so it's being like grounding yourself and like while you're traveling and being able to overcome anxiety while you're traveling is such a good skill to have. And it helps you like when you then come home and you like go back to your life, you're like, if I can tackle my anxiety when I'm like on public transportation in a different language, different city I don't know, and I was able to handle it, then I can handle this. You know what I mean?
Exactly. No, I literally think that's perfect. 'Cause, I mean, when I was in Sweden, like the language is just like completely different, and like they do speak English there, but everything else is in Swedish. It's like I was still having to like use Google Translate, and like late at night when I would like go out, I was like, okay, oh my god, like my anxiety would be like, can I get back? And then when I would get back, I'd be like, I did it. Like,
I know.
Yay,
I know. You can be like so proud of yourself. And I feel like especially like as a woman, being able to like travel and overcome that and being able like, okay, I can take care of myself in this way. Like I can get around this city that I don't know and take control and do that and take control of my anxiety. It feels so good.
No, it does. Okay, so tell me about Costa Rica, because I hadn't even really, I've heard a little bit about it, but I want to hear your like in-depth. I know you did like, they're like called like workaways or like stuff like that where you
There's
go.
Like a ton of different,
There's a ton of different ones, but basically you essentially, I've been wanting to do this for a while. You go, you work in a different place, you pay like a small amount, and like you stay and get housing, but then you also work. So tell me about that. Tell me how you applied for it. Like, how did this come about? Like, I want to know everything.
Yeah. So basically, I knew for spring break I wanted to go. Well, okay, on my bucket list for 2024, I was like, I want to go to Costa Rica. I just feel like I felt something calling me to go, and I've been like, I've always wanted to go. I know that it's like one of the most sustainable countries in the world, and I just wanted to like
learn
see
more.
that for myself, explore that, whatever. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go there for spring break. And then I was like, I'd love to volunteer and do something and have it be cheaper, honestly, because like if I'm gonna travel, it's gonna have to be like balling on a budget, because like I don't have the funds to like pay for hotels and everything. And so it was just like through this website called World Volunteers, and my friend and I found it, and I was like, you're coming? And he was like, okay, whatever. And we went, and honestly, it was like I was like very chill about it. I was like, yeah, whatever, like we'll just do it. And then like leading up, I was like, oh shit, like they were like WhatsApp messaging us being like, okay, you need to bring like this and this and that. I was like, oh my gosh.
Really?
They were like sending messages in Spanish, and I was like, hey, I don't really know Spanish. Like I was on Duolingo like every day leading up, like trying to be like, how can I teach myself Spanish really quickly?
I failed Spanish, so I can't help you there, but
no, I'm like, the part of your brain that is like good with learning languages, I don't have.
No, I
like,
don't either.
Like some people have that, I don't have it.
I actually didn't fail. I passed with a D, so flying colors, guys.
Okay, there you go.
But I also get that. It's just like you have so much, and I just feel like I have no memory already because I have severe ADHD.
No, I have a horrible memory.
Like you're gonna have to tell me a whole other language that I have to.
It goes right over my head.
No, if it's not being taught to me from like kindergarten, you guys missed your chance. I'm sorry. Done.
But yeah, so that's what I was like, okay, but like a lot of people in the US like go to Costa Rica. I'm sure that some people will speak English. Like I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And so we went. The language barrier was really, I'm not gonna lie, like we were struggling. Like we got lucky in a lot of cases where like maybe someone walking by knew English and we could like grab them and ask for help real quick. But honestly, I would recommend like being a little bit more equipped. And I think that the only reason why is because we were staying in areas that were not touristy at all. Like they were like rural,
local,
small towns like no one knew of. And so we spent a night in San Jose, and then we took like this 5-hour bus ride to this small area called Guanacaste. And it was basically called, it was like this tiny little project where they were like helping the sea turtles, and it was very small, like a very small operation of like a couple people. But they were like so passionate about the work. And every single night at like midnight, we would go out and survey all of the beaches in the area and wait for the mama turtles to come up through the water up onto the sand and lay their eggs. And the thing about turtles is that and it was the season of the leatherback turtles, so they were like these huge like gray and black turtles coming up like through the sand, the mama turtles. And the thing about turtles is that once they lay their eggs, like they take a long time making sure that the nest is good and everything, but then they leave and they never see the babies again. Like they just leave the eggs and go. So, but there's a lot of factors. Sad. I know there's a lot of factors though that like, if there's a building that has a lot of like lights, then the baby turtles could come up and confuse the ocean with the lights and then go the wrong way, or birds could come, predators, turtle poachers. So there's like a lot of ways. And then the rising temperatures make it so that they don't want to come up if it's super hot. So there's all these factors that make being a baby turtle hard to survive.
Oh my god.
So basically so it gets better.
Okay.
So this project it's gonna be okay.
So much.
Me too. But so we survey the land. Then the mama turtles, when we saw them laying the eggs, once we'd like help them like get their like hole going.
Oh my god.
And then they'd go back into the ocean, and then as soon as they left, we would help until like before the sand goes over. We'd get all the eggs and like relocate it to be in a safe spot, mark it, and then 60 days later they would come back, dig up the spot, and get all the baby turtles and make sure they got into the water safely. And so we would do these extractions around sunset, like 6 o'clock, and go and basically like dig up these little extraction points, and all of the baby turtles would come up, and then we'd get them into the water. So, and then we'd go back home, whatever, shower, because you'd be disgusting from literally having like baby turtle juices all over you. And then we'd later that night be out until like 12 to 4 a.m. like waiting on the beaches for the turtles to come and like helping get all the eggs out, and like that's literally crazy. Being like a midwife to a turtle, which is like crazy.
I want that job.
No, I know.
I want to be a turtle midwife.
But it was just like amazing to see the passion of the project leaders, and like they do that every single day.
Yeah.
But then it was like nice because like we only worked from like 6 p.m. For a couple hours, and then like later that night, so we had the entire day to do whatever we wanted.
That's so nice.
So we would just walk down to the beach and literally just spend the entire day at the beach. Like every single day, I was swimming in the water. And like
and the water's so clear there.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And I'm a happy camper. Like if I can be like submerged in water, like in the ocean, that is like my happy place.
Oh my God.
Like I have dreams about swimming in the ocean.
Yeah, me too. I have dreams about waves a lot. Like a lot of like waves, like
being in the ocean
and like, but the waves
watching
like overtake me, but like in like a good way. Like I'm one with the ocean.
And like
know?
the silence under the waves. Like I just think it's such like a wonderful spiritual experience. Like I love it.
Me too.
And I feel like I was always kind of afraid of the ocean, but like I grew up in LA, like I grew up near Malibu, so like I would go to the ocean all the time. And then when I was in Australia, I like got my scuba diving license, so I like got really into like wanting to, like I was like I want to be underwater all the time. And then when I've been to Hawaii before, but this past summer when I went to Hawaii, I was like, okay, I want to be snorkeling every single day. Like, I want to be, like, going as far as I can go because, like, I just fell in love. And so, like, getting to be in Costa Rica and getting to, like, have the entire day just to be at the beach, I was like, this is my dream come true.
You were like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
No, I get you with that. Like, the water, like, I feel like being around, I've just always been a beach girl.
Yeah, me too.
Like, grew up going to Maine every summer, and I've never felt more connected than I have on the beach to anything. Into Earth especially, and into the universe. And I feel like there's just something so special with the water, but to be able to like help the turtles in that way and like connect with like really helping like earth creatures and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, I said earth creatures, like earth animals or whatever. Earth creatures. I like them.
No, I get what you mean.
Earth creatures, but like just connecting with the world in a different way and the planet in a different way, like that just must have been so soothing.
And it's crazy to think about. Like, it gave me such perspective for like so many animals and so many like beings on this earth spend so much of their time like caring for their young, prepping, like doing all of these survival things. Like they spend their entire life like basically based on how can I like grow my family, how can I grow my lineage, how can I like provide a space basically to like
other people.
Yeah, exactly. For evolution. It's like so evolutionary, like mindset. Whereas I feel like with humans, with like our priorities are so different, which is so interesting.
It is, but that's just, oh my God, you can hear the music in the back. I can hear it in my headphones.
We're like talking about like sea turtles and stuff.
Yeah, and
just
like just the like music. You know, shipping up to Boston. Okay. Anyways, no, I love that. I've been wanting to go to like one of those places and do the same thing because this is going to be really funny. So when I was younger, I like used to use this like hashtag that I made up on my own. Kid you not.
Hashtag.
And I would always do like a little peace sign, and then I would have like the side pony that would go like this. And the hashtag would be turn up turtle swag.
Stop.
So, I was weird.
Hashtag
I know.
Turn up turtle swag.
Yeah, I know. The fact that I'm like that people like me is like mind blowing because like I was weird. I respect that. I'm still a little weird, but I just felt so connected to turtles in a different way.
I'm never gonna forget that.
No, me neither. I need to bring that hashtag back.
We need to bring that back.
Maybe that'll be my next Instagram.
Can it please?
Yeah, no, definitely. If we go to Costa Rica, that will be. I'll take pictures of
for
turtles.
Sure.
But no, I've always loved turtles. I mean, like my grandfather, I like happened to be at Mystic Aquarium the day my grandfather had passed away, and I had gotten like when I was at the aquarium, we were in the gift shop like trying to figure out to go to the hospital or not, and I had gotten a snow globe with turtles in it, and it was like one big turtle and a small turtle. So then I always thought of that kind of like as also my grandfather, and like he was the like one that owned the house in Maine, and that's how I got close to the beach. But no, to be able to just like experience that too, like my dad went to Costa Rica and did oh my god, it was like one of the plant medicines. So like I've never talked about this before on here, but my dad is a recovering addict, so he, as like help with the addiction, he went to Costa Rica and did one of these plant medicines, and like he has never felt like calmer in his life. Just like the energy of being in like there and around the water and stuff like that, but also like doing that, I feel like when you're in these different countries and you're meeting these different people and this different energy that isn't so fast-paced, isn't so corporate, isn't so like go you have to be producing all the time, you have to be making money, this is the only thing you have to be thinking about. Like people just live their lives, and
it's gotten so like touristy, like this term, but like the motto of Costa Rica, like when you get off the airplane, is Pura Vida, which is like, but people like, instead of saying like hi and stuff, they'll be like, oh, Pura Vida, like that's like a greeting there. And it just means like pure life, like slow life.
And that's
so like
what
when we
life
got
should be
there,
like.
exactly, when I got there, I was like, I'm used to doing 5 different things at once. Like if I'm watching a show, I'm on my phone, I'm cooking, I'm eating, I'm
multitasking,
cleaning, like literally, like I don't know a time that I'm not multitasking.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like to be there and to be like the project coordinators to be like, okay, you don't need to do anything until 6.
And you're like,
and the Wi-Fi's slow and it's hot and you're not going to be inside, so it's like, oh, okay, like what do I do? Like, you know what I mean? It's just like you just be.
You just are a human, and I feel
it's like a crazy thing to just be.
No, it literally is. And I was going to tie that into Sweden, because I spent a month in Sweden. And
oh my gosh. I know him. Wait, that's the guy that I went to Costa Rica with.
Oh my god, that's what the hell?
That's crazy.
No way. Okay, I love the universe. This is
my god.
This is insane.
If only he knew we were just talking about his trip.
Oh my god, that is literally insane. The universe. Anyway. This is what I'm saying.
No, literally.
Working in like, we're gonna get into that, because when you travel,
we'll get into that.
The universe
knows. They're like, we got you. Don't worry.
But like, that's crazy. Okay, that's I love the universe.
That's literally wild.
Okay. Yeah. So Sweden is the same thing with like, when it comes to lifestyle, they put people first. Like, it's not
such
like
a concept.
It's such a concept, right? Like as Americans, we're like, whoa. Like I got there and I was like, what the hell is this? Like Tylenol is like you have to get it. Like you have to get a prescription to get Tylenol. They don't like give out like Tylenol and drugs like that because they don't want to make people reliant on them.
Oh, wow.
Because they believe that those don't, like, there's other benefits to like shit than that. Like they're like, let's do the natural stuff, let's do the stuff that actually works, let's not do like, you know, all this medicine, all this shit. Like big pharma here is like, let's just push drugs and drugs and drugs and drugs to make money, but they're like
ads for them in the US
literally, and they're like, what, Tylenol? No, you need a prescription for that. Like they literally told us to pack Tylenol and NyQuil and Dayquil because we would not be able to get it there.
Wow.
And their healthcare system there, like maternity leave is like like basically almost the whole 9 months, right? Like it's a really prolonged period of time. You get like the end half of like your pregnancy and then you also get almost a full year when the baby's born. So you get pregnant again, then you can take another year, and your job like does not want you to even come into work with the baby. Like they will be like, no, because like, your
stay home.
like your priority is raising the kid. They give paternity leave too for the parents, for the dads. Sweden is like one of the number 1 places to raise a family in the world.
Wow.
And like
that makes sense.
Yeah. And just seeing how much they prioritize people there instead of like just like everything else, like corporate and production and like the workplace, right? Like I went there to learn about business. I have always said I would never work in corporate until I went to Sweden. And I was like, I would work in corporate Sweden.
Wow.
Because the lifestyle there, like, they have the way that they have the food set up for everybody, and like they have fika, which is like coffee break and dessert break. So you get like an hour in the middle of the day to just have coffee and dessert on top of your lunch. Like, it's just like, I know, right? Like,
I just came from my corporate job and I'm like,
yeah,
what the fuck was that?
Yeah, you're like, why am I here?
Yeah, why am I here?
Like, but they also don't, it's not just like, minimum wage like isn't a thing. Like, they pay like you a living wage because they don't believe, like, again, their priorities are people living good lives. Like, and that's what I think when traveling, like, the biggest thing is seeing how this affects like people, because like you just meet, like, I know people from everywhere. I know people from London, I know people from Amsterdam, I know people from LA, I know people from like just literally like all over, right? Like, same. And everybody is so different when it comes to their background and their lifestyle. But you can tell the people that have the more laid back lifestyles. Yeah. Because they're kind of like, why the fuck are you worried about all this shit that's going on? And you're like, I have to be worried. I have all this going on. I have to do this at this time. But by this time, like, this exactly. Like, I've been waiting on it. For example, like, I've been waiting on a check for like 2 weeks now, and because I'm waiting on this stupid check, like, I can't pay stupid bills because like, you know, thing.
But it's also thing. It's interesting because it's like there's that difference of like, okay, the laid back lifestyle versus like this really high stress, but at the same time it's like I can't tell like a difference in terms of like, it doesn't mean that just because the high stress person is like more successful and more passionate, like the people that are having like a more enjoyable life are just as passionate about their work, just as hardworking, and like just happier too. No, it's like you can have both, and it's like
literally
in the US it's like you have to choose one.
Yeah, no, it's like you have to choose either money, happiness, or living a life that you actually want to live. Yeah. And like right now, I think this economy too is like you have to work 2 jobs to be able to survive.
Oh yeah.
Like you have to work, like I am gonna have to work 3. Like I'm at the point
I'm
where
working
I'm like
3 right now, and I'm like
barely passing by.
Yeah,
you can't even save.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't save money.
Exactly.
I'm like, I have 3 jobs, and I'm like, this doesn't seem right.
No, exactly. Like, I'm barely paying my bills, barely being able to have a savings account. Yeah. And it's just like, it makes you think, I'm like, the amount of times I'm like, I just want to like get the fuck out of this country. Yeah. Like, anything. Like, please, different job, like, different, like, just get me out. It's
also like interesting because when I'm traveling, like, you have your bare minimum, like, essentials with you. Yeah. And it's amazing how, like, you're fine with just what you need. Exactly. And I feel like it's such a big thing here to be like...
That's Charlie. He was on the episode last week.
No, but yeah, it's just like such a big thing to be like, okay, I need this and this and this. And we're like so in this consumer mindset and behavior that it's like... It's because when you travel, you're like, you don't need all of these things. Like, I'm living and thriving with just what's in my backpack.
America teaches you that you're always lacking. Yeah. No matter what. That is what I found out. Like, no matter if you do have money. Say you have 3 jobs and you're paying everything. You're always still lacking. Why? Because you don't have enough. If you aren't going on vacations as much as other people are, you're lacking. If you don't have a corporate job, you're lacking. Like, if you... It's just like, no matter what, like, you are always lacking.
For sure.
Because there's just this way that America creates, like, standards that it's just, like, it's disgusting, in my opinion. And I just think traveling has shown me the different ways that people value life more. Like, it's about history, and it's about learning about yourself and not about learning... I feel like America is like learning how to be yourself through your work. Yeah. Not learning who you actually are. Right. Not taking the time to figure out who am I outside of my work. It's just who am I with my work. Exactly. How much can I push out in a minute? How much can I make from this? And like, it's just like, how can I find myself? Like, how can I do that? And that's when travel like comes in.
And it's also like, for me, I don't know about you, but like, when I'm in my day-to-day, like, you get into this mindset of like, I need to know everything. I'm the center of attention. Exactly. And when you travel, you're like, okay, I'm taking a backseat. I'm going to be the sponge and learn from like the cultures around me and from the people around me. And then having that, you're like, it's okay to not know everything. And I think it's like so attractive when someone can like sit there and be like, I don't know about that. Like, tell me about that. I want to know.
Exactly. Like, tell me more, because I don't know all that you know, and I want to hear from you.
Yeah.
And I mean, I minored in philosophy, and I have always said the reason that I did that because I love learning about people.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I literally just said this to somebody today, but I feel like a lot of the times now it's more about how much you can like give and how much you can like show, like, oh, I'm this, like try to top other people's energy. And there hasn't been a lot of people that I've met recently where it's like, how can we exchange energy? How can we like talk about the same thing but not try to topple over each other? Like, how can I understand you? How can I learn from you? And that's what I loved about philosophy, was you're just constantly learning about people and the way they work and their brains. It's like psychology almost, but in a bigger picture. And I love that. I love being able to just, about traveling, like constantly learn things about people and places and the way people think, because it then makes you think about yourself.
Yeah.
And it's also like, it's never like the, can I topple over you? Can I be better than you? It's how can we exchange energy, and how can I show you things, and how can you show me things?
Exactly.
But
and make it
like tie together.
And I also think it's interesting because like when you say that, it makes me think of when I got to Costa Rica, there was one other girl from America there, and she was like about to leave, and then the only 3 other people there primarily just spoke Spanish. And so when I got there, she was like, you're going to do a lot of sitting at the table and listening. And just listening to the conversation, and it's going to be in a different language, and you're just going to see the behavior and the reactions, and you're not going to be able to contribute, and you're going to have to like be okay with that and just sit there and be like, I'm not going to be the center of this conversation. I'm just going to sit and receive, and there's going to be no pressure to kind of like talk.
Yeah.
And so like there'd be some like nights where like we'd be sitting and eating dinner, and like I would just be silent the whole dinner, and I'd be like, this is the most refreshing meal I've had, where like I'm just here to receive and just to be a sponge.
Exactly. And you're sitting there and also being so present, because you're just so enjoying your meal. Like, you're actually eating the food. You're listening to the people.
You're not thinking about like, what am I going to say next? What's like, what are we going to do next?
Yeah. And I feel like with America, especially with social media too, and I was literally just talking to somebody about this, but it's like not even about like, it's how many followers you have. It's like, oh, I have this many followers, you don't mean anything. It's like, can we just all understand that we're humans? Like, I have 133 followers for this podcast on Instagram, and I don't give a shit. Like, I'm still doing something I love to do, and it's not about that. Like, if I make no money off of this, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a flying crap. Like, if I get sponsorships, great. If I make money off of it, great. That's perfect. But it's just extra because this is something that I like to do, and this is something that I feel like I learn more about myself from, because I talk to people. And that's like, with America, it's how many followers you have. How can I topple you? How can I, how am I better than you in this way? Because I'm making more money, because I have more Instagram followers. And it's not people actually understanding people. Whereas when I travel, that's when I feel like I can finally understand people. And
some
I can
of that
finally
pressure is taken off.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can still be a hardworking person. You can still get shit done. You can still be like an amazing, accomplished person. And you can still be like, okay, I don't need to know everything. I don't need to have, like, I don't need this. Like, I think our definition of successful is so warped, because it's like based on the like quantitative rather than like, okay, what's the quality that we're getting? Like, what does this mean for the relationships and for how I feel about myself, and like what I'm getting out of this at the end of the day?
Exactly. It's always about what can like, how is this making me quote unquote better in societal eyes, not how is it making me better as a person. How am I learning? Whereas when you travel, I feel like it's how are you learning?
Exactly.
Okay, but let's talk about spirituality and traveling,
really
because
getting off tangent.
I know I told you, like, I was like, I don't need topics with Ava, because me and Ava
We're just
will
gonna go.
We're just
gonna
go.
spitfire.
We just do this all the time. I'll be like, I'll go over to hang out with Ava for like an hour, and then 3 hours later we'll be like, oh shit.
It'll be like midnight.
Yeah.
We'll be like, what are we
What are we
the
doing?
tarot cards will be out.
Yeah, exactly. Also, you want to come to my graduation dinner? And
Yes.
okay, I totally forgot to. I was like, I want Ava to come. Okay. Anyways, so spirituality and traveling. So I'm gonna start off by saying the reason that I got 777 tattooed on me was because I saw it like all the time in London. And so London had been on my vision board for literal years. Like everybody that knew me knew I wanted to go to London.
I remember that.
All I have loved is like, I only love like my top 3 artists, British artists. Like I just loved London. I loved it. I've had it as my lock screen. Like, and I was like, I want to go to London. I want to go to London. I need to go to London. I went to Sweden and I was like, there's no way that I'm not going to London while I'm next to it. Like it was like a $50 flight. So right, like I'm still in debt from this. I'm still paying it off. But again,
it's worth it.
I don't give a flying fuck. Like it is worth it because I just knew that I was supposed to be there. Like I knew it. So I went from Sweden, where I studied for a month, Stockholm. It was beautiful. I would live there if the winters weren't so bad.
Really?
Because the winters get like down to like below like negative 20s. Like
It's a little rough.
yeah, it's a little rough. I definitely
I can barely handle Boston.
Yeah, me too. So like I'm like already planning on moving somewhere warm and sunny. So can't do Sweden. But the lifestyle and the way they treat their people and everything, like we talked about, I would live there. Like I loved it. The food was great. It was cheap. It was like beautiful. The community was great. Everybody speaks English. Would live there in a heartbeat. But I was like, there's no way I'm not going to another country while I'm there.
Yeah.
Well, Bastille, one of my favorite bands, who I also have a tattoo from, happened to be playing in Dublin.
Yeah.
And then in London, right around the time I was there. So I was like, I'm going. I have to. There's no way. I'm like, it's always been on my bucket list to see what my top 3 favorite bands and their country that they're from. So I was like, I'm going to go to Dublin because I've also always wanted to go to Ireland. I'm Irish. Like, I'm going to do it. So I went to Dublin first, went for a couple days, was by myself, right? I was by myself this whole time. I'd gotten a tarot.
How did that feel? Like being like solo traveling?
It felt weird, especially because I went from having like a huge group of people around me and with people that I knew and had made friends with to like having no one.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, this is my first time being in other countries by myself. And I was like on a tight budget. I had my money that I had, and then when I ran out of it, I ran out of it.
That's
and that was it. So it was weird. I did a lot of stuff. Like I spent more time inside than I think I would have now. I think I was a little anxious at first, like Dublin especially, because I went from like Sweden to Dublin right away. And I think that's when I was a little anxious because I was like getting used to being by myself.
Yeah.
So I would have liked to go outside more, but I did. I walked around. I went to Trinity College. I went to the castle. I had a friend there. I met up with him. Like he showed me around because he was from there, and it was great. That was great. But I also did love exploring by myself.
Yeah.
Like it was really nice. I did the Guinness Storehouse by myself, which like not a lot of people do that alone, and I did. And it was like really nice, and it was fun. And you know, I also got like a psychic reading. It was from a psychic in Salem, but I got the phone reading like while I was in Ireland. Still brazy. A lot of it is coming true, which I'm very
That's
scared
crazy
of.
how that works.
Yeah, but no, it was crazy. And then that was when I had first gotten the day of the Bastille show that I went to. I had gotten a receipt from the coffee shop, and the receipt total was 777.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, okay, this is weird. And then I ended up having literally one of the best nights of my whole entire life, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is my life? Like, I can't believe this. And then so went to London after. Only was going to see them in London once and then leave. I ended up staying.
That did not happen.
Yeah, that did not happen. And honestly, I'm glad it didn't. Ended up staying in London so much longer. I saw 777 everywhere in London, though. Like, it was literally bombarding me. And that is how I knew the universe was like, you are supposed to be here right now. Like, you are supposed to stay. You are supposed to do this. Like, and I ended up staying like an extra week and a half, basically. Ran out of money, which is why I'm still paying it off. But, like, it was worth it because, like, I had always felt connected to London in the sense that it was always on my vision board. It was always somewhere that I had wanted to go. And then, like, being there, I just knew I was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
I had no anxiety. And this was the first time ever
crazy
in my life that I have had no anxiety. I have had anxiety so bad that there were literally days one summer where I could not go without having a panic attack.
Yeah.
So for me to be able to do that, to like being this person that had no anxiety, could walk
and
around London,
to walk around and do your thing,
do my thing by myself, like it was insane. And I mean, it's always been my goal to live in London at least once for a little bit. That might be coming true soon. I did get accepted for this like internship program, which I have to pay the deposit by Monday, and I'm like, ugh.
Are you gonna do it or no?
So I think so. It was with the company that I did the Sweden thing for, but now it's like separate because I'm not in school. But basically, what they do is you pay them like a little fee for like finding you an internship, and then you pay them for housing. But they find you an internship in your like desired field. You'd interview for it, whatever. Once you get that, they set everything up, and they help you get like the visa and all that stuff. And then you go to that country, live there, and then if that like company or whatever you work for decides to sponsor you, then you can take that and then it can become a full-time job.
That's amazing.
So I got accepted I had applied for it on a whim because I was like, I want to travel. I need to get out of this country.
Yeah.
Like, I need it. I don't want to pay rent. I just want to travel. I just want to like, literally just like, I'll put my shit somewhere. I don't give a fuck. Like,
yeah, put it in storage.
Put it in storage. Put it at my mom's house. Like, I don't care. I'm not living at home. Like, no, that's not happening. Like, rent is so expensive right now. I was like, I will literally just spend what I would spend on rent on traveling. So
yeah,
I got accepted for it. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I would be living in London for 6 weeks, which is like
that would be so
huge
cool.
Because like I've always said I wanted to live there. And it starts in January, which is like the dreading time of like being there in the winter. But I just, so
it's also about being here in the winter.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. And it's like another country. But what I loved about London is it's the US, but it's different because it's relaxed. Like people know they have jobs and it's busy, but it's relaxed in the sense of like people also don't give a shit. Like they're like, I have a job, but I also am here to live my life. Like I'm not gonna just be just a corporate like worker that just gives my whole entire life to my job.
You're not gonna live to work.
No, exactly. They're like, I'm gonna live, I'm gonna have fun, and I'm also gonna work and make money.
Yeah.
And that's what I love, and I love the music culture there. There's a place to see live music on every street, like literally, like you could never get bored. Your phone. But I was there for literally like 2 weeks. I still didn't even see all of what I was supposed to see. So yeah, we'll see if I go back. I'm currently planning a trip to Dublin for my birthday. I'm working on getting a second job first, but I'm planning a trip to Dublin to see Coldplay on my birthday, which is like literally on my birthday, which is also on my bucket list. And
that would be insane.
Yeah, and then I was gonna go pop over to London for like a week or so after, see some people out there, and also go to the Harry Potter tour because I didn't get to do that when I was there last time. That's a story. But yeah, anyways, I've never felt more connected. I've never felt more like the universe was like, you need to be here. And even me getting accepted into the Sweden program, it was so like last minute. I had applied for it because I heard about it in one of my classes and they were just about to close the applications. Got accepted, literally like had to put the deposit in, like it was just so, it happened so quick, and the next thing I knew, like a month and a half later, I was like leaving for Sweden.
No, it's crazy. And how like sometimes like you'll work so hard and put your head down and be like, okay, I'm gonna force this to happen. And like when you just let go of the reins a little bit and let the universe do its work, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna trust in the universe, see what happens. Like put my spirituality and passion into it all, but I'm not gonna like force anything. It's amazing what happens.
No, it is.
And I also like when I read, the book Signs.
Yes, I have that book.
When I read that and I like started making a list of like things that I just like, if I see those, that means the universe is talking to me. Like that means like numbers, certain letters, certain like really specific things. Like I made a list of that and I was like, if I see these things, like it's the universe being like, hey, I got you. You're okay. And I remember like, so one of my things is like, this is like totally off topic, but like one of my things was like, I have a golden retriever at home who's like my best friend.
I love it.
And she's just like a sweetheart, like we grew up together kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she's always had like this pink collar. And so it's like, okay, golden retrievers with pink collars and leashes. It's like very like specific, but I was like, that's my thing. And then for a few months when I was like really in tune with myself, being outside all the time, really in tune with nature, like going to the beach a lot, I was seeing literally multiple times a day different golden retrievers with pink leashes. So specific.
Yeah.
And then 5 or 6 months, nothing.
Yep.
And I was still outside, still seeing, looking around, nothing. And then like finally when I was like, hey, I really do want to like get back into my spirituality, really like connect. Right when I got back from Costa Rica.
Yep.
The next day I saw a golden retriever with a pink collar, and I was like, yeah. The universe, like when you push yourself in a way that's like not forcing, but like pushing yourself to be like curious and get out there and just getting out of your comfort zone, but not in a way that's like pushing yourself in a bad way. It's like that is when the universe is like, okay, don't worry, we'll give it to you.
It's not about working against the universe, it's working with the universe.
Yeah.
Is what I've learned. It's about being like, I want this. I'm going to let you know I want this.
Yeah.
I'm going to put in my effort. You get the rest.
Yeah.
And you can't stress about the way it's going to happen or how it's going to happen, or cuz like everything that happened to me last summer was stuff I had been manifesting for my literal, like, since I was 14 years old. You cannot stress
like
about timelines. Yeah, exactly. You can't stress about timelines. You can't stress about like when it's going to happen or how, because if you put so much pressure on the how, you're not going to get to, like, that's what the universe wants to experience.
Right.
Like, even if it's painful sometimes, which they say with manifesting, a lot of your manifestations often come true after a lot of shit goes wrong, because the universe is testing you. It's like, can you take all of these challenges that we're giving you and still persevere until see what you want to see? Because if you can, then we'll give it to you. Then you're ready.
Exactly. And it's like that whole thing with, and this is like kind of off, but it's like my mom and I literally talked about that, and we were both like, why do we keep on getting shitty men? And she was like, went through this relationship where she was like, I don't know, just like, we were both just like, we keep on getting in these situationships, not happy, and it's like low quality, and it's like, what's, like, I remember she was like, what's the lesson here? Like, I don't know what the lesson is. And I was like, we have to hold on for the ride. Like, we can't force anything. We just have to see. And then in due time, we were like, okay, that's what the lesson was. Now it makes sense.
It does.
It'll all like make sense in the end.
It does. When you look back on it, you're like, whoa, this happened because this happened. And I literally have it tattooed on me. Nothing is a coincidence.
No.
And I will say that.
Yeah.
But okay, we're running out of time, so I want to just speed run really quick.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, but I'll ask you the question, and then you answer the question.
No.
And then I'll answer the question. Okay. Dream country and dream state to live in. Or dream, like, city.
I loved Australia. I would live there. I think dream country would be Australia.
The spiders scared me.
Okay, the spiders weren't really a problem when I was there. I promise. Okay, wait, what was the other one?
Dream state or, like, city.
Okay.
In the U.S.
Okay, I'm going to say Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
Okay, what about you?
Okay. Other than London, because we know I want to live in London, I would love to live in Italy. I went to Italy, and it was beautiful, and I love the lifestyle there. And again, like, just the sweetness of doing nothing. Like, they value that so much there. So Italy, and then here, California. Would love to live in LA for a little bit, or Malibu, or by the beach.
My hometown.
Yeah. California, it's always been on my list. Like, I literally chose the school I went to because they had a
the
LA program that I got into, and I didn't go.
It's crazy. I went to Emerson because I was like, I'm gonna go to the castle.
Yeah.
And I didn't go.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, that was stupid of me, because now I'm like, shit, I want to move to LA. And then I'm like, Devin, you should have went. Like, I could have.
But you have
there.
so much time.
But
like,
I have so much time. Yeah. Exactly. And like, other things had to happen, and I understand why I didn't go now. Okay. Favorite place you've visited so far, like, ever?
Okay, I love Kauai.
Okay.
It's like my favorite. Like I remember when I was there, like my mom was like, you just seem so you here. And like that stuck with me. I was like, I need to be somewhere where the beach is, where I feel like really in tune with myself, where I can be in nature, and I feel like that was in Kauai.
Okay, I love that. Out of this country, I would definitely say it was probably Sorrento, Italy. That was really beautiful, by the water, by the beach, like on the like that area. But in this country, it's Maine. Like I am so connected to my beach
You're
house.
such a Maine girly.
I am, and I love it, and I just don't know why, but like that place just makes me feel like really centered. I actually have astrocartography lines that run directly in the middle of my beach house and our neighbor's house. Like,
you're gonna like
I'm
retire
not joking.
there.
No, like it's like I've had past lives there or something. Like it's insane. Okay, last and final question. Dream place you've always wanted to visit and why?
Okay. Oh my gosh, this is a really hard question. Oh no. Okay, I really want to go to Greece.
Yeah, I get that.
I feel like I just want to be in like some sort of like Grecian island and just be like vibing and living my best life. And
that.
honestly, like I really like I want to go when it's really hot and just like be like melting on the beach and like going out at night and partying.
That.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What about you?
Mine, Bora Bora. That's where I'm going to go for my honeymoon.
Yes.
So my future husband, he better start saving because we're going to Bora Bora.
We're gonna go to Bora Bora
for our honeymoon. That's
as you should.
But other than that, Machu Picchu, because I read the book.
Oh my gosh, I want to go to Machu Picchu too.
I read a book called The Celestine Prophecy, which you have to read.
Yes, we've talked about this so many times.
Yeah,
yes.
But it's a very spiritual book, very philosophy book. Like they talk about 10 insights that they find in Machu Picchu and how Machu Picchu is one of the most like spiritual places on the planet. So I really want to go and I really want to experience that.
Okay, we're gonna go to Machu Picchu.
Yeah, so that will be on our list. But anyways, we're gonna wrap it up now. Finally, thank God.
Yay.
Somebody was just taking a picture in front of her. If they don't tag me, I'm gonna be so mad.
I know.
Like
a girl's gonna talk, guys.
A girl's gonna talk. Okay, but anyways, thank you, Ava, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
It's been so
excited
fun.
that I was here.
If you guys haven't subscribed or followed on YouTube or Spotify, please do. This is episode 7 with Miss Ava Tribe.
Wait, what's the hashtag again?
The Instagram? What? Oh, turn up turtle swag.
Turn up turtle swag, guys.
Turn up turtle swag. I'm gonna use that in one of the posts for the reels. But anyways, you've been listening to Devin Wright with A Girl's Gotta Talk. Bye.